Good morning. The October 1st, 2025 meeting of the Board of Estimates is now called to order. The board continues to meet in a hybrid format. For those here in person, please take a moment to silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. For those attending virtually, if you desire to an opportunity to speak, we ask that you please keep yourself on mute until the chair recognizes you. When you are called upon, please announce your name and organization and speak loudly and clearly as you present. At this time, I would ask our clerk, Celeste Amato, for any corrections, additions, and noted abstentions from today's meeting.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, everyone. This morning, we have one correction to note for SB 25-13387, Housing and Community Development Termination Agreement, Housing Accelerator ARPA, Hartford House Limited Partnership for $0. Under endorsements, please add CCR has reviewed and has no objection to Board of Estimates approval. We have no walk-ons to note this morning. We have one deferral, SB 24-14435, from the Department of Real Estate Agreement of Sale, Scarlett Covering Incorporated for $1,000. This item has been deferred until October 15th at the request of the Council President. We have two withdrawals to note this morning, SB 25-13223, Real Estate Lease Agreement 1501 West Saratoga Street with Total Healthcare, Inc. for $83,737.50. This item is withdrawn at the request of the agency. And SB 25-11364, Department of Public Works, partial release of retainage, Metra Industries, Inc. for $329,291.63. This item is withdrawn at the request of the agency. We have a protest to share this morning. Pardon me, I'm just making sure I was supposed to read this one. We have a protest to share this morning. SB 24-14435, Real Estate Agreement of Sale, Scarlett Covering, Inc. for $1,000. A statement of opposition has been received from Ms. Katrina Odom on behalf of Wilson Park Northern Neighborhood Association. A statement of opposition has been received from Mr. Cornelius Harris on behalf of Historical Wilson Park Community Association. And I believe that is it for statements. And we have the following items on the non-routine agenda this morning. SB 25-13434, BBMR, tipping fee increase, Department of Public Works for the Bureau of Solid Waste for valued at $8,970,000. SB 25-13381, Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs. This is a memorandum on inclusion of employee identification numbers in opioid restitution fund grant agreements. SB 25-13305, procurement, an unauthorized procurement from Morrison Consulting, Inc. for $28,800. And SB 25-12807, procurement selected source award, RFQ 00469, City Watch CCTV maintenance and support agreement for $13,040,000. We have the following abstentions to note this morning. The Honorable Mayor Brandon M. Scott is abstaining on the following: SB 25-13479, mayoralty third-party travel request, and SB 25-13407, mayoralty third-party travel request. The Honorable President Sika Cohen is abstaining on SB 25-13427, budget emergency medical services fee increase, SB 25-13434, budget tipping fee increase, SB 25-13471, City Council professional services agreement, Latham Lee Hoeing LLC, and SB 25-13469, City Council professional services agreement, K. Finch Creative Collection LLC. The Honorable Comptroller Bill Henry is abstaining on all travel requests and travel reimbursements. City Solicitor Ebony Thompson has no abstentions, and the Director of Public Works Matthew Garbark has no abstentions to note this morning. And there are also no votes on routine agenda items. Mr. President, that concludes our opening statement this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Amato. At this time, I ask for a motion to approve and adopt the opening statement as read by the clerk.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. The opening statement has been adopted. I now direct board members' attention to the memorandum from my office dated October 1st, 2025, identifying matters to be considered as routine agenda items, together with any corrections, additions, abstentions, and no votes that have been noted by the clerk. I will entertain a motion to approve all the items contained on the non-routine agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor of approving the items on the non-routine agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. All items have been adopted. Seeing no further questions, we will now move to the non-routine agenda. The first item on the non-routine agenda is a request from the Budget Office and DPW to approve an increase to the tipping fee charged by the Department of Public Works Bureau of Solid Waste to match the certain revenues that were assumed in the FY 2026 budget. On behalf of BBMR, we have Director Laura Larson. Director Larson, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Mr. Council President, Mr. Mayor, members of the Honorable Board. I'm Laura Larson, the city's budget director. Thank you for having me here today. We have before you an item to implement an increase to our landfill tipping fees. This increase was an initiative that was part of the fiscal 26 budget. We have slides to share. This initiative to increase tipping fees was part of the fiscal 2026 budget. Under this proposal, the fee will be increasing from $60 a ton to $127.50 a ton. This is the first time we have increased this fee since 1993. It is important to note that this fee increase will not apply to the small hauler program, which is administered by the city's health department. Our goal as part of this fee increase is to create additional revenue that we can invest back into the Department of Public Works while also seeking to expand the life of our landfill. We know that because our fee had not been increased since 1993, we were by far the lowest fee charged by the surrounding jurisdictions, and therefore we were seeing individuals from outside of the city come in and dump at our landfill, which was putting additional pressure on our landfill and shortening the life. And so through this proposal, our fee will be more in line with those surrounding jurisdictions, which we believe will allow us to expand the life of the landfill. A couple of notable investments that we're able to make and sustain with this additional revenue is the ongoing investment in new crews for the Bureau of Solid Waste. In the fiscal 24 budget, we created 20 new crews that allowed us to shorten route sizes and to return to weekly recycling. In fiscal 25, we transitioned 10 of those crews from temporary ARPA funding into the general fund. And in the fiscal 26 budget, we invested $5 million to create 15 new crews. And so in total, we have 35 new crews in a 3-year period. Again, the focus there is allowing the department to meet its weekly service provision while also having route sizes that are in line with national standards. We're also able to make investments into critical facility repairs at the solid waste facilities that are utilized by our employees. I will note that I'm joined today by leadership from the Department of Public Works, who would also be happy to answer any questions about the operational aspects of this increase. And with that, I will take any questions.
Thank you, Director. Questions from the board? Mr. Garbark?
Thank you. Director Larson, I just looked last night, and it looked like from 1993 to today, the buying power has been cut almost in half from what $1 was in 1993 to today. So this is really just keeping up with what the dollar inflation has occurred, even though prices have gone far above that.
That is correct. That is correct. This would this increase, is much below what we would have seen if we were doing inflationary increases to the fee during that period.
Could you just, the buying power, Mr. Garbark, could you just explain that? I'm assuming we're talking about the cost compared to inflation, just walk us through.
So basically $1 back in 1993 can buy maybe 50 cents worth of something today. So when we're looking at $60 back in 1993, you're probably looking at the cost. The cost was in 93 is now doubled. So while $60 has remained the same, what we are able to buy has basically been cut in half. So this rate increase is basically in line with just inflation, but we do know also the cost of operating the landfill has increased far beyond that as well.
Director, this is going to come before the city council, yes? Or is this one of the ones that is not?
This fee is set by the Board of Estimates, and so if adopted by the board today, there will be a 30-day notification period, and the new fee would go into effect at the beginning of November.
Understood. And so the other fees before the board, specifically the everything else that was discussed during the budget, such as EMS fee, that one will be coming before the council. Which are the ones that need legislation specifically outside of the Board of Estimates?
So any fee that the city imposes that is referenced in city code would have to go to city council for any fee where there's a specific dollar amount that's referenced in the code requires action by the city council in order to change the fee. In the case of both the landfill tipping fee and the EMS fee, those amounts are not set in code. The rates are set by the board. And so those fees would be adjusted based off of board action and do not require subsequent city council action.
Understood. So could you just one more time for the good of the order, could you share which of the fees will need legislation and which will not?
Yes, so on today's Board of Estimates agenda, there were two fee increases, the landfill tipping fee and the EMS fee increase. Neither of those fees require council action, so those changes will go into effect upon board action. Separately in the budget, we had a broader initiative around conducting a fee study where we're reviewing all of the city's fees in 3 different phases. And within the recommendations from the fee study, there are a batch that would require council approval, others do not. What I can say in phase 1, we are reviewing fees in the housing department, fees in transportation, fees in public works and the health department. And out of that, I would say approximately 50% of the fees would require city council action to increase.
Understood. Appreciate that. I will continue to note concerns about raising any fees at a time of fiscal austerity for many Americans, as we see our government our federal government shutting down. But I will also respect that we did have a very robust conversation and debate on this in the budget, and so I want to respect the outcomes of that. I am going to abstain and note my own personal objections here, but I do also look forward to engaging around the fee study and specifically those issues that will require city council legislation. Any other questions for Director Larson, Mr. Mayor?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Abstain. All right. The next item on the non-routine agenda is a request to note a report and study on inclusion of employee identification numbers, EINs, in opioid restitution fund grant agreements on behalf of the Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs. We have Program Compliance Office. Oh, no, you're not Lauren Jackson. All right, we got Deputy City Administrator Shemaya Kearney, Deputy DCA. The floor is yours.
Good morning, honorable members of the board. I'm Shemaya Kearney. I serve as the Deputy City Administrator and formerly the Chief Recovery Officer for the Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs. As you know, the Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs is the entity that is responsible for the grant making of the Opioid Restitution Fund. To ensure that agreements are executed with the correct legal entities and that each organization is associated with a federally recognized permanent identifier, the Recovery Office will include employee identification numbers on all organizations, for all grant agreements for these organizations that will be included as Exhibit C in our grant agreements. There were already 7 agreements that had come before the board for approval that did not include EINs. So this is just a note that we will add those EINs to those approved agreements, and also will add EINs moving forward. I'll take any questions.
Questions from the board? I want to commend the Mayor's Office of Recovery Programs for strengthening transparency and accountability in our opioid restitution fund grant and grantee tracking processes by ensuring these grant agreements have EINs. This improvement reflects the city's collective commitment to accurate tracking and responsible stewardship of these critical funds for Baltimore's communities. Appreciate the change made. No other questions or comments? With that, I will note this item. Thank you. The next agenda item is to approve an unauthorized procurement with Morrison Consulting, Inc. for the payment of outstanding invoices on call yearly maintenance of visitor check-in kiosk systems. On behalf of procurement, we have Chief Adam Manny. Chief Manny, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Mr. President, honorable board members. Adam Manny, your Chief Procurement Officer. We're here today before you asking permission to pay an outstanding invoice of $28,800 to Morrison Consulting. Morrison Consulting had a contract with us since 2021 for the maintenance of our automatic kiosk systems, which comes in, it scans, it prints out a temporary badge. As part of the contract, there was an auto renewal clause. What this means is if the agency or the one party does not notify the other party within a very specific period of time, the contract automatically renews. This contract had an auto renewal clause in, it automatically renewed. The vendor came out, did the maintenance, did the service, but we did not have a purchase order in place encumbering the funds to cover that service. So we're before you today requesting permission to pay it. The agency is working now on a new solicitation, which we hope to have out, and for these services, which will not have an auto renewal clause in it, as we don't do that in the city.
Okay. How are we going to avoid this from happening in the future? I feel like there are too many times where I've chaired this board for about, 8 or 9-ish months, and too often we're in non-routine agenda for items like this, asking the board to approve something on the back end. How are we going to avoid this situation in the future?
I'll start saying is that shows that the processes work, that we have to come before you. We've noted that there was a mistake made, that we didn't do something according to process, which here would have been to get the purchase order in place higher, coming before the board before it. In the Bureau of Procurement, we work very diligently with our partners in the legal and the solicitor's office to make sure that any contracts coming before us now, that we do not agree to any auto renewal clauses. Part of this is contract administration on the agency's portion, understanding their contracts for what it is and how it's going. So it's a combination of things. I know you've been here, as you said, for the last 8-9 months on the board, but when I started, and I'm sure Mayor Scott will agree, we were here with several of these every single session. And now we're down to one or none every few sessions. It happens, it's human error, but we are diligently working on it through policies and procedures and trainings to ensure that these don't happen. From the Bureau of Procurement side, we are actually beta testing now an on-demand training for all the employees, which will be based in the Worksay system on contract administration. We're beta testing the first 2 out of 3 possible modules, which we hope to have out by the end of the year, which will allow anybody in the city to take that and have a better understanding on how to manage their contracts.
So, Chief, I just want to be clear here. We do not do auto renewals, and we did an auto renewal on this one.
Back in 21, yes, sir.
Okay, and so that was a function of staff not being trained to say no, just say no to auto renewals?
It was a combination of BOP staff not having training and agency staff not recognizing that it was in there. Now, as I'm here, we don't do auto renewals. We're very strict about it, and we look hard, and it's certain industries put it in there. I think the worst one, in the elevator maintenance industry, their auto renewal clauses literally say, unless it's Tuesday the 5th and you're in Belgium standing on one leg under a full moon, it automatically renews. But you have, those auto renewal clauses say if you don't tell us by X date, or 30 days or 60 days prior, it will automatically renew. And that's what happened here. But we are working to ensure that we don't have those clauses in our contracts.
And so when we did that original contract, it went through the Board of Estimates, and we did not identify that there was.
I would have to say yes, sir. I wasn't here at that time. I don't.
Sure. No, look, I appreciate that, and I do not want to in any way diminish the work, the good work that your office does. I think it is still important that we're moving from 1 or 2 per board to as close to 0 as is humanly possible.
That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. And I think we still have a ways to go. I do appreciate that this was before your time, before our time, this board's time. But with that, I believe we have to approve this item. I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of approving this item, say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed say nay. This item is approved. The final item on the non-routine agenda is a request from procurement on behalf of the Mayor's Office of Information and Technology for the approval of an agreement for the maintenance and services of the city's CCTV camera network with Skyline Technology Solutions. On behalf of BSIT, we have Interim Chief Layla Lehman.
Sorry, just trying to share.
No worries. Chief, as soon as you get your PowerPoint up, the floor is yours.
Just checking if it's sharing. Think. All right. All right. Good morning, everyone. Layla Lehman, Interim Chief Operating Officer for the city. I am here to present on the City Watch CCTV Maintenance and Support and Expansion Agreement. So this is a 5-year contract. The value of this contract is $13 million, MBE and WBE participation of 10% each. The contract covers 4 main areas. There are 4 purposes that it can cover. So the primary purpose, again, is just the maintenance and support of the existing 867 cameras, and that covers about 75% of the total contract value. This contract also covers expansion both for City Watch and Housing Authority of Baltimore City. Infrastructure replacement is also, infrastructure as well as camera replacement is the 3rd area that this covers. And then finally, infrastructure infrastructure replacement for CCT expansion of city agencies. So I want to dive a little deeper into this because while it can cover all 4 of those areas, there are specific funded plans currently within those swim lanes. So as I said, there's the 867 cameras, and that's what's being covered for 75% of the contract. When you look at the expansion line item for City Watch and HABC, currently what is planned there are 11 cameras in Brooklyn Homes, and that's under HABC's funding. There is no current plans to fund City Watch expansion, but I will on the next slide go into a little bit what we have done around expansion currently. The next area is infrastructure and camera replacement. So the great news is we actually now have all of our cameras on a 5-year replacement cycle, and we won't need to do that again until FY29. What we are now working on is the infrastructure replacement. So all that technology other than the camera also needs to be replaced, and that has not been put on a replacement cycle. So we're working on that. For us, the next one will be the tri-district camera area, and then HABC, as part of this, is also funding 4 of their areas for that replacement. And then finally, this system can be used by other agencies. And so Parks and Recs has decided to put funding to do cameras for 3 of their new rec centers on there. And then DOT is exploring the addition of traffic cameras as well as TMC upgrades. As I mentioned, wanted to give you a little update around recent expansion efforts. So in the past 15 months, FY24 through the current, there have been 40 cameras added to the City Watch network. The City Council and Mayor's Office had worked together in the FY24 budget to provide us with money that allowed for 26 cameras, and those were in various locations around the city. Through the Casino Local Aid Impact, 9 additional cameras have been added to Federal Hill, and then finally through ARPA funding, an additional 5 in Northwest Baltimore. And that ends my presentation. Any questions I can answer?
First off, thank you for the presentation. Appreciate the added cameras, appreciate the 5-year maintenance cycle. This is obviously something that concerns the entire city council and frankly all residents in Baltimore. Could you talk through the process of how residents and or city council members can get a camera in areas where they're seeing persistent, let's say, drug dealing or issues around loitering or theft or whatever the case may be? How are we critically evaluating the need for a new camera to be added to the fleet?
Thank you for the question. So if funding becomes available, I think the first thing that we look at is that funding restricted to a certain geography, right? And then once you say it's not restricted to that geography, it is a mix of various things that we look at. So one is crime, obviously. The next thing is there infrastructure nearby where we can actually put a fiber camera in? Because you could put a wireless camera, but they're not very reliable, and we don't want to add those to the network if we can avoid it. But it can be very expensive to add one if there's not a fiber infrastructure nearby. The next factor that we look at actually is
Just
the
out
trees.
of curiosity, if you could pause on that.
Sure.
Can you talk about the differential in both quality and price if you were to add a wireless non-fiber connected?
So wireless are definitely a lot cheaper. And I'll actually ask our Director of Public Safety Technology, Art Ray, he can speak to the cost differential of a wired versus wireless cameras. Wired cameras range us from usually $35,000 to $75,000 a camera. But Art, do you have that figure off the top of your head by any chance? I feel like you usually do.
Good morning, Art
Morning.
Ray. Yes, it's usually around half, and sometimes even less than that to install a wireless camera. We still need some of the infrastructure to connect that wireless, but
Sure.
The cost drops drastically. But then we're also looking at interference from tree growth, and a whole lot of factors have to be taken into consideration.
Okay, so it's half as expensive. Could you talk about the difference in quality? Does it overload network capacity? What's...
Yeah, so quality is only impacted based on the line of sight, right? So,
Sure.
And it's the wireless connectivity can impact the quality of the video. As for the impact on the network, it is not any different from fiber to wireless.
The availability of a wireless versus wired, though,
Correct.
can be the issue.
Right.
Do you want to?
Sure. So availability is impacted on a daily basis based on the wireless. The wireless may be impacted by weather, of course, and then, like I mentioned, the tree growth, things of that nature. So the camera may not be available online to view at a particular time based on those factors.
Okay. And so, again, the case for not adding more wireless cameras, I'm not totally clear on what that is. Could you explain that?
So again, wired cameras are the preferred because they have better uptime and reliability versus a wireless camera. They've been shown to just not be as reliable.
For the
because they can go
viewing public, uptime?
So uptime is how, if you look at minutes in a day, how many minutes the camera is available and viewable by, say, BPD versus how many minutes nothing can be seen through the image.
Okay. I interrupted you. So you were saying, obviously, crime
Yes.
as one factor,
Network.
proximity to network or fiber.
Trees is another factor because, as Art Ray mentioned, if we can't, if there's no visibility, right, then you can't do something. So trees and tree canopies has to be another factor into that. And when you look at that composite of factors, right, we work closely with BPD to determine then where additional cameras would go.
Okay. I'm going to turn it to the mayor in a second. I would love to see like some clear standardized process metrics. This came about recently and comes often. Like council members see a persistent problem in their district. I remember when I represented District 1, there's like a strong demand where we see issues around persistent crime. Folks will say, well, why can't the city get a camera? And I think having some clear, fair, transparent processes would, if not satisfy folks who just want the camera, at least provide an explanation, rules of the road for people, because I think it is important to note, one, that like a camera is not a panacea and is not going to solve all of the crime problems, but two, that we should have some objective metrics and criteria to be able to understand this corner versus that corner, this alley versus that alley. What you said about trees and network is relevant, obviously, but it feels fuzzy to me, and I know to some of my colleagues as well, and so would ask you all to do some work on just a clearer set of guidelines for when folks request cameras. At times it can feel political, at times it can feel vague. And again, I don't want to suggest that a camera is going to solve all of your crime problems, because it is probably not, but it is a tool.
It is.
And I think the council is interested in a conversation with BSIT, with BPD, with the administration, with everybody about how we're deploying these things, when, how, et cetera.
Happy to put that in writing and make that clearer. I will just be clear, at the moment, there is no money for expansion of the cameras.
Understood.
Right, and so that's number one. There does have to be funding in order to do that. But we can be clearer on the criteria for when there is funding.
Understood.
Yeah.
And I know in some cases cameras get moved. I remember, again, there was a situation when I was district councilman where a camera was in one area and then it got in the middle of the night, it moved to some other area and it created consternation. Just given like any resource where there's a scarcity, I think having clear rules of the road is really important. Mr. Mayor?
No, thank you, Mr. President, and I will make sure, the rules of the road are clear. We'll make sure that we maybe do a crash course we got a lot of new elected officials around how the cameras are populated and where they are, but we also have to always remember and reserve. I know I've been saying this a lot lately to some of our elected friends, that we have to be very careful about what we disclose publicly about parts of a public safety strategy, right? Because some folks who may or may not have grown up in a place like Baltimore Park Heights might not think this, but the very people that you and I and others want to catch in their activity on these cameras, they watch, they read, they look at the news, they know, and they're looking for these things, and we just have to be very particular about that. I wanted to, Madam Director, just as you know, probably the city's most prolific City Watch camera operator, I wanted to talk about the process that we went through to updating the cameras and how important that was where we were, let's just say 5-6 years ago, with cameras that had been in city government longer than I've been here or you've been here, and we've both been here a long time, versus where we are today and how that has helped us. Even some of the expansion that we've had. I think, Mr. President, for you, one of my big things was the lack of of cameras that we had in HABC and public housing, and up until a few years ago, the lack of connectivity and connection to the actual City Watch program. I think that's just important for the public.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question, and it's a great opportunity to highlight this. So, as the mayor mentioned, the cameras weren't on a refresh cycle. So and I got here and kind of new leadership back in 2019, 2020, right? And so the camera program moved under our budget. I think it was like 2022, I want to say. So one of the things we took priority for was investing the capital dollars that are allocated to BSIT to get the cameras on a refresh cycle. So we did that over 3 years. And what that does is increase I had mentioned the availability. How often are these cameras viewable? So when you look, back in, I want to say it was like 2021, because we actually looked at the data recently, the availability was in the low 80s. And now the availability of those cameras is in like 98%. And so it's through those efforts of that investment into the refresh of the full camera system now. Because as the mayor mentioned, the camera system started around 2006, 2007, I want to say, somewhere around that, right? And so the life of a camera is 5 years. So really, those cameras, when you think of 2022, those cameras should have been replaced at least 3 times, and most of them had never been replaced. So the technology was old. The cameras were just dying randomly, and that just really affected the availability. Anything you'd like to add, Art? Is there anything?
Just I think that rate, though.
Yeah, very proud of that.
That's a very important thing. Thank you.
Yeah, very proud of that.
I'm not as angry as I used to be when I saw all the down cameras.
Glad to hear that, sir.
Other colleagues on the board? Mr. Garbark, you have an inquisitive look on your face.
No, sir. No questions.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of approving this item say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. This item is approved. Before adjourning, I will note we have a times 100 member on our hand. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
What? Thank you, sir.
Happy to see the recognition, and congratulations on that.
Thank you. For Baltimore, I just also want to note, in the absence of the comptroller, that the comptroller for today has better hair than the comptroller ever had in his life.
It is fresh, Deputy.
No comment. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Deputy Comptroller, Mr. Garbark, Madam Solicitor, and all those viewing at home. As there is no more business before the board, we will now adjourn this meeting.
Hi, TV 25. We are ready to start. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Board of Estimates bid opening for October 1st, 2025. We have a few addenda to share today. First up, for Public Works ER 4140R, Environmental Restoration Contract Number 4140R, Site Design Construction. This bid will be opened on October 15th, 2025. And we have another addenda for Recreation and Parks, RP 24822, Patterson Park Wading Pool. That bid will now be opened on October 15th, 2025. And bear with us, we have some slipping and sliding bids today. Up first, we're going to be opening a bid from the Bureau of Procurement. This is RFQ 000657, on-call repair and improvements at various wastewater treatment facilities support. And this is a Part B, Casey, so you will see 2 totals in the responses. We're reading the first total.
Great. All right, we have one bid received, one Part B, from American Contracting and Environmental Services Incorporated. I have 1 flash drive and 1 original and 2 duplicates.
Okay. You want to give me a beat?
And The total is $433,500.00.
That number was 433,500.00.
That's correct.
Do you want to give me a copy?
Well, I guess you can have one.
For ultra verification. We like to be certain.
Oh, I'm a liberal arts degree. I can't do numbers.
You've gotten really good at reading them, though. Okay, that bidder again was American Contracting and Environmental Services, Inc., and confirming their bid total at $433,500.00. And Casey, this next stack is all slidey. Okay, and that was our only bidder for RFQ 657, on-call repair and improvements at various wastewater treatment facilities support. Up next, for the Bureau of Procurement, we have RFQ 000738. This is for integrated audit management solutions, and this is a Part A and B, meaning we are opening the technical requirements and the pricing today, and there should be just a single total on this one, Casey.
Okay, the first one is received from Wolters Kluwer Teammate. And I have, for Part A, I have 1 original, 2 duplicates, and a flash drive. For Part B, I have 1 original, 1 duplicate, and 1 flash drive.
Okay.
Want me to keep going? Okay. I'm gonna read the price from the Part B. And the total cost from the Part B for Wolters Kluwer Teammate is $687,010.80.
Casey, I think you need to pull the mic forward. Thanks.
The total cost for the Part B is $687,010.80.
So that number was 687,010.80.
That's correct.
And
Let me
that
give
bidder
you-
was Walters Kluwer Teammate for $687,010.80. Thanks, Tawanda.
Okay, the next one is from Insight Public Sector. I have 1 original and 1 duplicate. For Part A, I have 1 original, 1 duplicate, and 1 flash drive.
Okay.
For the Part B, accent's coming out today. I have 1 original, 1 duplicate, and 1 flash drive.
Okay.
Great. And for the Part B, the total cost is $339,641.82.
That number was 339,641.82.
That is correct.
That bidder was Insight Public Sector for $339,641.82.
The last bid we have for RFQ 000738.
You said the last. I think we have 2 more.
I only have 3 on my sheet.
Oh, you only have 3 on your sheet, but 2 came in with external packaging that could not be identified by the bid number. So we had to open them, and I added them late, so. Well, yeah.
Okay, so a third bid I have.
I'm just making sure you know. There's more coming.
But there's more coming. Great.
Wait, there's more.
Is from Vertisoft. And this, let's see what I have in front of me. I have a Part A. Sorry. Looking to see where it says original and duplicate so I can make sure I'm reading. Okay. I have a Part A original, I have a Part A duplicate, and I have a flash drive. I have a Part B original, a Part B duplicate, and one flash drive. I'll read the total from the Part B original. The total cost is $578,967.46.
That number was 578,967.46.
That's correct.
That bidder was Vertisoft Vertisoft. That's a typo. Pardon me for a second. Vertisoft is the company, and the bid amount was $578,967.46.
Okay, and then I have a bid from CGen Incorporated.
Did they trade us something else, perhaps? I pulled Integrated Management Solutions from the bid envelope before it was opened, and Attican Consulting from a second bid set before it was opened.
I
And this looks like Attican here. I'm reading upside
Yeah,
down.
I think it's a CGen. That's what's on their letterhead.
Okay.
What else did you pull?
I had Integrated Management Solutions.
I think that's what they're offering. Yeah.
Did I write that down from the envelope? Oops, that could have been me. Is that capital C, G-E-N?
CJEN Incorporated. Guys.
J-E-N? Yeah, it is definitely picking up everything. C-J-E-N, like an acronym.
Yes, Incorporated.
Okay, thank you. And I'm so sorry, my error. CGen Incorporated is the bidder, and we have
Okay, we
copies
have.
and originals.
Oh, do I- I have. Let's see if they're marked. I have a Part A original, Part A duplicate, and a Part A flash drive. I have a. I have a Part B duplicate, a Part B original, a Part B flash drive. I'm going to read the total from the Part B. The total cost is $125,823.30.
That was 125,823.30.
That's correct. Here's the duplicate to check.
Thank you. That bidder was CGen Incorporated. That's C-J-E-N Incorporated for $125,823. Hold on a second. What is Does your price sheet look like this? Blanked out? Sorry about that. I don't have a total on the duplicate, unless I'm looking right at it. Bottom of B22. Is it me? Do you see a title there? There's no total, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, so there's no,
I think that I mean, it's not proprietary and confidential, but
I
it's leading to present that it is.
I think that for some reason, the total was redacted on the copy. Yeah. Sorry. That's not really funny, it's just funny. It would only be funny to
We have
people
to
who
get
open
a-
bids all the time. So I'm going to repeat back the total that was provided on the original, and of course, the agency will review this bid in its entirety, page for page. But the proposal was from CGen Incorporated, and the bid amount provided on their original is $125,823.30.
That's correct.
Thank you for verifying that I wasn't totally crazy.
Always here for a good time. All right. I think the last.
I have one remaining, Attican Consulting.
This is who I have. I have Attican in front of me. I have one original. So for part A, I have one original, one duplicate, one flash drive.
Got it.
For part B, I have one original and one duplicate.
Okay.
I'll hand you the duplicate.
Thank you.
For the duplicate, for the part B, oh, how I hate when they do this. Okay. For the part B, the total price. I'm gonna refer this to law department because the total price is not in a consistent location to, I'm gonna speak to my colleagues in the law department because I can't tell you right now if, because the total price is not where the bidder is instructed to put it, if that is a minor irregularity or not. It's on another page. It's
I
just not
see
laid
what
out
you're saying.
how the bid instructions have directed
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
bidder to do it.
It's a separate
It's a separate
sheet.
document.
Okay. Okay, so we will not be reading a total at this time because this bid isn't consistent with instructions. So we're going to refer it to law department to give us a read on whether this bid and the way it's presented can be accepted.
Super.
So, and that final bidder, just for the record, the bidder, without the total price proposal at this time, the bidder was Attican Consulting. And that was our final of 5 bids for RFQ 738, Integrated Audit Management Solution. And that was a Part A and B bid, technical and pricing opened both today.
Super.
Up next, we have RFQ 743, Mobile Purge and On-Site Shredding and Disposal Services.
Okay. No bids received for RFQ 000743.
Got it. Up next, we have SC 985R, rehabilitation of the high-level interceptor.
Cool.
And give me the name and give me a sec to type it in, because I don't have any on my sheet.
Okay. Okay, the first one I have is from Monumental Paving and Excavating Incorporated.
Okay. Tawanda, I'm going to let you put the addresses in on this one before we finalize.
Sorry, one original and one duplicate from Monumental Paving Excavating.
And do you have a bond?
I'm looking for the bond. Give me a minute.
Me too. $249. Page 249 is where I find it.
Thank you. All right, yeah, the bid bond is signed on 249, thank you. And the total bid amount is $33,590,000.00.
Okay, that number was 33,590,000.00. Okay, that bidder was Monumental Paving and Excavating, Inc. for $33,590,000.00. And there's the copy. Yeah, once we figure out the first one, we can usually, yeah, you don't have to spend time doing that. Okay,
Okay, the second bid I have is don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm positive.
yeah, with the capital ones, once you do the first one for us, we can find the rest of them, because they're usually organized exactly the same way, each one.
Okay, this one is from Spinello Companies Incorporated. I have the original in front of me and one duplicate.
Oh, sorry, thank you. Got it.
I have their signed bid bond and the on page 249, 250. And the total bid amount is $29,843,300.00.
Okay, that bid amount was 29,843,300.00.
Correct.
That was Spinello Companies, Inc. for $29,843,300.00. Thanks.
Okay, and the last one for SC 985R. This is the other booklet for Spinello.
Is it this one?
Okay, then the last one. It's all right. Okay, the last one is from Monumental Paving and Excavating Incorporated. I'm handing you the duplicate.
SC 985R?
Yeah.
I already opened a monumental paving and excavating.
That's correct. All right.
Make sure, what's the number on that one?
985R.
985R, and
Okay.
the one I already have? Just double check and make sure we didn't open
Yeah.
the other one.
I'm confused, but can I have all of them?
Yeah, I need to know the number on the monumental paving one that we gave, oh, hold on a sec. Because I gave monumental paving back to Tawanda already. Correct? So, for the monumental paving one that you have in front of you, what's the number on that one?
This isn't minor, this is the INSA form.
Okay.
This is sanitary contract 985.
And that's the monumental paving bid?
Yes.
And can you just check the number one more time? Because I just want to be sure I read the correct monumental bid for the correct contract. So if that one's SC 985R monumental paving, the number I have is 33 million and,
This is all one right here. This is monumental paving.
That's their duplicate. I have their original.
okay. Yeah, just let's make sure that that's not WC, because I don't think they were going to be bid on the other
This
one.
is not money.
Yeah, that's what I said.
This is not manual. Yeah, this is Institute for Technologies.
All three of these.
Okay.
This is monumental paving right here. This is the duplicate.
That's the-
She said she had.
And
I
that's,
have monumental and then.
That came with it. That was part of that.
All right. This is.
bear with us, folks. We're just trying to make sure we didn't crisscross our stacks of bids.
The total, do you want me to reread? I have the original for monumental here.
For SC 985R?
For SC 985R.
Okay. What's your total?
$33,590,000.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure that we didn't crisscross.
I'm still confused, but if you get it.
So the second monumental you referenced was a copy? Okay.
So,
And Spinello was SC 985R.
I think we should just go back and reread the extra one. There's a lot up here.
Okay.
Spinello was the second one.
For SC 985R. Well, I mean, it definitely says it on there, the number on the bid.
This is the intro form.
Yeah, we haven't read that.
Okay. So that should be the third one for SC 985R. Okay. Because I didn't have those originally on here, Tawanda, that's why I cannot tell.
Right. And we just added it to the end.
Okay. So there are 3 for SC 985R.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll read through them all when we get to the end.
Okay, I have a duplicate. I have Institute Form Technology. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the other noises in this. There's a phone going off, if someone could turn that off. Institute Form Technologies, LLC.
I'm sorry. Institute?
INSITUFORM Technologies, LLC.
You said institute?
It's no. No.
Can you show it to me?
INS.
I'll get it off the duplicate. It's okay. I just want to make sure I spell it right. Is that the dupe? Thanks. I could not interpret that. Oh. Institute for. I wonder if that's spelled right. I'm going to write it down that way. It's on the bid. In-situ-form technologies. That could be a real word. I kept trying to turn what you were saying into institute, no matter how you said it.
Okay, and
Okay.
now we have, I gave you the duplicate. I'm looking at the original for the
Yes,
bid
and did you
bond.
locate a bond?
And it has a signed bid bond.
Very good.
And the total amount is $45,211,559.00. Okay. Found on page 232.
Thank you. Sorry, that took me a sec. 45, okay, that bidder was In-situ-form Technologies LLC, and the bid amount was $45,211,559.00. And that is INSITUFORM, In-situ-form Technologies. Thanks. Okay, before we move on, we're sure that there's no more SC 985R. These are all for the next bid. Okay, cool. Thank you for reassuring me. That bid was SC 985R, rehabilitation of the high-level interceptor, and I'm going to read out the bidders and their totals one more time, because I realize we interrupted our flow there. Monumental Paving and Excavating, Inc. for $33,590,000. Spinello Companies, Inc. for $29,843,300. And In-situ-form Technologies, LLC for $45,211,559. And those were our three bidders for SC 985R. Up next, we have WC 1452 for Public Works, Urgent Need Water Infrastructure Rehabilitation and Improvements, Phase 3 for fiscal year '25. So again, this is WC 1452, and I emphasize that, Casey, because I don't have the names of the bidders on my sheet yet, so I'll be recording them as we go. So let's just do that cross-check as we go. Thank you.
First bid is from Monumental Paving Excavating Incorporated. Here's the duplicate.
Thank you. Okay. I have the bond on 178, or copy.
Okay. Yep, I'm confirming that there's a signed bid bond on page 178.
I think I have the total on 137.
137. It's getting there. Okay, and the total bid is $13,700,000.
That bidder was, oh, well, sorry, let me read the number back. 13,700,000.00. So that bidder was Monumental Paving and Excavating for $13,700,000.
Yes.
Here's this, sorry. Okay. That one's done.
Okay, the next bid we have received is from Civil Construction LLC.
Thank you.
There's one original, there's one duplicate, and there is a signed bid bond on page 178.
Yep. And 137.
And the total bid amount is $13,900,000.00.
That number was 13,900,000.00.
That's correct.
That bidder was Civil Construction LLC for $13,900,000. Okay.
Okay. Okay, the next bid is from Anchor Construction Corporation.
Anchor.
Anchor. ANCHOR. I have one original.
You got a copy you want to give to me?
I'm interested in finding out that as well. I have a lot of email documentation.
Oh, it's not bound?
Oh, I see.
It's not bound by time
Sorry.
or space, honestly. Okay. I have a total bid bond. I can
Signed.
tell you that much. Signed, a
Okay.
bid bond signed. I definitely have an original. I'm unclear if I have a duplicate, so I'll just read
There's
from the
nothing
original.
marked, right?
There's
Okay.
nothing marked. There's nothing marked duplicate. Which
Okay,
is a
so-
minor irregularity, which just means we won't have a public copy for our records. There is a great deal of documentation here. It looks like a lot of emails and not
Yeah.
anything substantive, so I'll read in the total, but I'll note for the public that when they go to review this bid file, there won't be a duplicate of Anchor Construction Corporation for them to review.
I don't know if everybody listening knows what that means, but our office retains a copy, which is why you're asked for at least one duplicate when you submit a bid to the city. We retain a copy, so it's available for the public to view. And when we aren't provided with a clear copy, we don't have a copy for the public to review. So were you to come look at this bid, you will not be seeing a copy of at least this particular bid.
Yeah.
Because we don't have something that's clearly marked as something we can share as a copy.
Yep.
So-
Oops, sorry.
That was the explanation of that.
Thank you. So the total amount is $13,241,150.
Okay, that number was 13,241,150.00.
Correct?
And are you saying we're referring this one to law?
Nope.
Should I note that? Okay.
This whole package will
agency
go back
will-
to the agency for their
Okay.
consideration. While not providing a duplicate is a minor irregularity, we deeply encourage everyone to provide a duplicate.
It doesn't usually disqualify. It's just frowned upon. Okay, is that one or two there?
We're gonna find out together.
Because I usually crisscross them like that. So I'm guessing it's two.
Okay, next bid is from Spinello Companies. I'm gonna hand you the duplicate.
Thank you.
This is for SC 1452.
Yes.
sorry, WC 1452.
Correct.
WC, not SC.
Sorry, I knew what you meant. I should have said.
And I have a signed bid bond. And the total bid amount is $12,923,300.00.
That number was 12,923,300.00. That was Spinello Companies for $12,923,300.00. Thank you.
Okay, and I think this is the final. Commercial utilities for WC 1452.
Commercial utilities.
Handing you the duplicate, there's one original. They have a signed bid bond. And the total bid amount is $9,654,498.00.
That number was 9,654, 498.00.
Correct?
That bidder was Commercial Utilities for $9,654,000. Thank you. $9,654,498. And I'll run through those one more time since we had to take a little organizing break there. The bidders for WC 1452 are as follows: Monumental Paving and Excavating, $13,700,000. Civil Construction LLC for $13,900,000. Anchor Construction Corporation for $13,241,150. Spinello Companies for $12,923,300. And Commercial Utilities for $9,654,498. And that was our final of 5 bidders for WC 1452 Urgent Need Water Infrastructure Rehabilitation and Improvements. And that was our final bid opening for today. And our next bid opening will be on October 15th, 2025 at 12 noon. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and thanks everybody. Thank you, TV 25.